Hey guys, welcome back from spring break. I am making this video to give you an update on your Makai ASAP projects for the rest of quarter four, what that looks like, some really important updates. So pay attention to this video, rewatch it if you need to, come back for details. As always, you can message me. Before I jump into it, I just want to give you a quick update. At the time of me making this video at the end of spring break, I have not had baby yet. So I'm expecting him any day and super excited to meet him. But I'm sure you'll hear once I do have him. So yeah, let's jump into this video. This new document is going to be your main instructions and go-to for the rest of the quarter. And it is really similar to your first instructions packet, although this one has some updates in it and it just focuses on the final component of your project, which is called the capstone. So let's just jump right into it. And as always, message me if you have any questions or you're confused about anything. I'm doing my best to try to go over these instructions to the best of my ability from home, but obviously I can't think of everything. So if you do have any questions, please let me know. So major updates. This comes from the original document. The main components of your project, remember the background research. You have already done that. You should have already done that. So by now it should be finished. So good job if you finished it. I know some of you still had some slides missing or you wanted to make improvements. I highly recommend that you still do that. It was worth 340 points in quarter three. And those grades have already been input based on, how much you did get done. But like this comment says over here, if you still want or need to make any updates on your background slides, you can still do that. And that'll count towards your overall course grade. And also, as you'll see in a second, your final, your capstone right now is actually going to lean really heavily on your original background research slides. So if there's some that are required for this capstone project, but you haven't finished them, I highly suggest you go finish them so that way you can get points for those background research slides and also set yourself up for your capstone slides. I'll explain more about that in a second, but remember originally when I launched this project back in January, you were supposed to, the original requirements was that you actually do your stewardship action, you come up with a problem and solution for your species, and enact that solution, doing 8 hours of community service, and interview an expert on your species. These two things are going to be really logistically challenging for you, for me not being there. So as I alluded to before quarter three, if you are still able to do these things, you can actually get extra credit for them. I'll explain more in a second, but they're not a requirement of the project. So they were originally worth this much, and that was kind of the big foundation of your capstone, was doing the project, doing the stewardship. But things change and we're trying to simplify and make things easier on you. So it's not a requirement now, but you can still do it for extra credit. And then the last two components, the slides, capstone slides, and a Hoike presentation are still required. So let's just jump into each of those topics real quick and give you some more information. All right, so scrolling down, major update. These two components were required, but they're no longer required, but you can still complete them for lots of extra credit. And I mean lots of extra credit, okay? So it says to click on the links to learn more how to earn that extra credit. So the first one is doing your actual stewardship action. What was that solution that you came up with to your problem that you identified for your species? So not only doing that action, going out in the community and doing some sort of action to help your species, but also completing a journal about it. So this is extra credit if you are able to do it and you have the time within the next month or so before all the deadlines. You can click here, this link here, to view the document that was originally in your instructions packet that I gave you. This is overview. If you are going to do this though, you can just look at this document for now if you click the link. But if you are wanting to do this extra credit, you need to open the document in Schoology if you're going to do it, and you need to message me in Schoology about coordination of your action project and how I can help assist you with that. So it needs to be basically on my radar if you're going to be doing this, so I can facilitate you from home. Okay. Same thing for the interview. Originally, you did have to interview someone, a professional or someone that is a pro about your species, and include information from them in your final. You don't have to do that now, but if you do, highly recommended. You'll get lots of extra credit. Okay. Same thing. You can click on the link and view the requirements, how to schedule, come up with questions, plan it, stuff like that. But if you're going to do it, you need to open it up in Schoology and log all your information in that document in Schoology. And of course, contact me about coordination. Again, these two things are extra credit. Okay. So if you're really looking at your grade, or you're really gung-ho about wanting to do that extra credit, reach out to me as soon as possible so I can help you to the fullest extent. Okay. All right. So those are your extra credit things. Now let's talk about the requirements for your capstone. Capstone is like a final project. So we're going to use that word a lot. All of your assignments from here on out related to this are called capstone. So that's where that word comes from. It's like your final thing for this class. All right. So you're going to be doing something similar to what you've done so far for your background research. You're going to combine all of the information that you have done or should have already done into a formal slides presentation. And I'm going to go over that right now. Looking at it, it is pretty short. It was originally 11 slides, but because I am making the stewardship component extra credit, these 3 slides are not required. 8, 9, and 10 are not required, but if you are going to be doing the extra credit, you can do these slides and you can get even more extra credit. Okay, so let me just go over the overview for this. Very similar to your previous instructions. Slide 1 is an intro. You're going to introduce yourself, your species, importance. You should already have all that, right? And then this highlighted here thing says when the instructions say slide number, this refers back to your original background research slides. So for slide 2, your taxonomy slide, you basically need to replicate your taxonomy table that was originally from slide 34. So slide 34 of your background research slides, if you completed it, that's where you're going to get that information from. So here you've already done the work, or you should have already done the work. Okay. And the same goes for the rest of your slides. Overview, what ecosystem does it live in? What's the niche, unique? Is it endemic or native? If you did do your interview for extra credit, you could put some information here if you want. Potential, anywhere it says interview plug, anywhere it says interview plug, that's a great opportunity for you to incorporate quotes or responses that you got during your interview if you do end up doing that. Okay. Food web, slide 11, like that's literally slide 11. Like you can copy your slide and put it for this new slide 4. Okay. So on, population and threats, the problem that you identified, and what is your solution that you identified. Okay, so you identified a solution for yourself as an individual. What can you personally or one person do to help this species? And then what can your community or small groups do? Okay, so you've already done this work already. So again, if you do the extra credit, you can get some more extra credit in your slides. And then the last slide is going to be references. So all of your citations that you've already accumulated or any new ones that you add on need to be in APA format, and you're going to have a whole slide dedicated to this. Okay. Last but not least, you have your design. Do your slides look nice? They need to look really, really nice, and I'll explain why in just a second. Total, you can get up to 240 points for your final slides. That's not including these extra credit slides. Okay. But if you do your extra credit, there's another opportunity here to make a video, and I can help you with that using your slides. Kind of like I'm doing right now. I'm recording my screen. You can make a video of your presentation. The bare minimum requirements, 240 points. You can earn up to 410 points on this assignment if you do these extra credit opportunities. And that is not including the extra points that come from your interview and your actual stewardship. So there's so much extra credit available here, hopefully as an incentive to entice you into doing your stewardship project. But again, at the end of the day, the choice is yours. Okay. And then the last component is the presentation. So the original plan was to have formal presentations where we invite community members and you guys all get up in front of everyone and talk about your species, go over your project, and so on. But we don't really have the time or the capacity to do that. But we are going to be doing something a little bit different this year at our Ho'olaulea. So the major update here is that instead of a formal presentation, you're going to use your slides to create a poster. Okay, so all of your capstone slides you're going to use to create a poster. And what I mean by that is, here's an example of a couple of my example slides. They're not fully finished, but I just wanted to show you what this could look like. When you have your slides, we're actually going to print them out on paper, so they need to look really nice and be really visually attractive. We're going to compile these together and paste them together on poster boards, and you guys are going to have a nice big physical poster of your slides that go over all of the details from your final capstone slides. Okay, so all of this needs to look really nice in your slides, and then like it says here in the instructions, we're going to print them out and create a poster using your slides. So we're taking your really nice digital products that you make and turning them into a physical product. Once your capstone slides are finished, we're going to print them out. I just gave you some information on that. Glue them onto a poster board, which will be provided for you. This is worth 240 points, like I just went over on the last page, up to 410 if you do extra credit. Okay, on the day of Ho'olaulea, which is Friday, May 17th, at our high school Ho'ike, afterwards, we're going to have Ho'olaulea performance in the morning, and then afterwards, we're going to have a big high school Ho'ike where your families and community members are going to come and check out a product of your work this semester. So you guys will be making a poster, and during this Ho'ike, you're going to stand by your poster. You're going to dress nicely, stand by your poster, engage with your parents and classmates and community members about your project, and show off all of your research that you've done and you've worked so hard on this semester. Okay, just for doing this, making your poster, getting to this point, and being available to present it, you're going to earn up to 100 points. Okay, so that's the final component. You don't actually have to get up and present in front of a room full of people, but you are going to have your poster printed out, looking nice, standing up, and you're going to be hanging out by your poster and chatting with anyone that wants to come learn about your species. Okay, so that Ho'ike is going to be Friday, May 17th. All right, let me just jump to what the rest of the semester looks like for you guys. So this is just looking at the class calendar. You are going to still be doing your groups of invertebrates and your notes and your ed puzzles and your DOL slides. This is going to be filled in further, but what I want to bring your attention to over here real quick is this column here. I've pasted this out for the rest of you, for the rest of the weeks before our final Ho'ike day. Okay, our Ho'ike is on 5/17. You're going to have everything finished by then. All right. If you look at the requirements for your final slides, your final capstone slides, you need to do 2 a week. Okay, so this Friday, on top of the other work that you have to do, you need to finish slides 1 and 2. By next Friday, finish slides 3 and 4. And you guys, it's 2 slides. It's totally doable. And again, reminding you, you've already done the work, and you should have already done the work. Okay, if you haven't done the work, get it done. Earn those points, and then it'll be really easy for you to do this. Okay, so your slides template is going to look very bare bones over here. going through, it's the same thing where slide 1 matches up with slide 1 here. I have very simple titles for you just to help you, but your instructions, where do those come from? Those come from right here. How do you know what to do on each side? Those come from right here, okay? And then what you're going to see in Schoology is this folder, Makai ASAP. So your background research, you can always go back and still access those original background research slides, right? Now you have a new folder, capstone slides and your poster. So here's the link to the instructions. Here's the link to your template that's going to open this up. Okay. You're going to do all your designing and editing in this document, and I'm going to track it and grade it. But you have individual assignments for capstone slides 1 and 2, 3 and 4, just like you had different assignments for part 3, part 4. Same thing. Okay. Except, however, these do have the due dates that match up with the calendar. So you can see on the calendar, final slides 1 and 2 are due on 4/5. If you look in Schoology, it's going to say the same thing, due on 4/5. You need to have capstone slides 1 and 2 done. Okay, so throughout this next month, I'm going to be checking in on your individual capstone slides and looking for your slides that are finished or not finished and giving you a grade. So let's say that, you know, the date 4/5 passes and you did not get slides 1 and 2 done that weekend. I'll be grading these. And if you don't have them done, I'll just give you 0s, but you can still go back and do them. Okay. You may be super gung-ho and you want to do all of your slides at once because you've already done your project, or you may be procrastinating, whatever it may be. Those points are all due. And you need to have your poster finished for your final presentation by 5/17. I'm just trying to space it out as much as possible for you to not overwhelm you all at once, because this is something that you are going to be doing alongside your other work. So I hope that makes sense. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about. This is your capstone slides. If you are going to be doing extra credit, there's your different things that you can click on here, your stewardship action and journal, interview an expert, and then this is if you do those other slides. So if you click on these, it'll open the documents up for you. Okay. And then last but not least, you can see your poster presentation. So all these are already accounted for in the grade book, and throughout the next 10 weeks, quarter 4 is only 10 weeks, you will be earning those points. So I think that's it. I've rambled on enough. Let me know. Review these digital instructions. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I know this was a lot of information. Hopefully you come back and rewatch this if you need to, or message me, ask questions, because that is what I'm here for. I'm not physically there in class with you, but I am still here to fully support you guys on these projects. Okay, so take care. Let me know if you have questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. And I will talk to you soon. Aloha.